Welcome to the Daily Jerry Anderson podcast, which today compares the modus operandum of the current replacement for Nolan compared to the fat boy himself, the genuine article. Linda Macaulay, for it is she, said the words, "Heavens to Murgatroyd" today. The fat boy is capable of many evil things, but I think this may not be one of them. Heavens to Murgatroyd.
Yeah.
I've never heard anyone saying that. Linda Macaulay's the first person I've ever heard saying that. Nolan says...
It's an old saying.
I know it is, but I've never... Have you ever heard anyone saying it? Live? I mean...
Apart from Snagglepuss.
Who's Snagglepuss?
Snagglepuss was a cartoon character.
I missed all that cartoon thing.
Snagglepuss made it popular.
I missed all that. Heavens to Murgatroyd? Are you sure that Snagglepuss made that popular?
Snagglepuss said it, and he said, "Heavens to Murgatroyd."
But I mean, was he the first to say it?
No, he wasn't the first. Apparently it goes way back to...
Way back to this mist of time.
I think it would... Do you know the guy who played the lion in The Wizard of Oz?
He never said Heavens to Murgatroyd.
No, he said that in a film, I think way back in the 40s, a film called Meet the People. He was the first to use it. Heavens to Murgatroyd.
How do you know that?
It was all quiz questions.
It's great. His name is Bert Lauer.
And you were right.
Put him up! Put him up! Put him up!
Do you remember?
Put him up!
It's, also at the same
Got the
time.
knife! Put him up!
Remember Heavens to Betsy?
Heavens to Betsy.
Heavens to Betsy. Heavens to Murgatroyd. Same thing.
I'm very nervous today. You don't know what's going on in my life.
I don't. No.
Well, this is something that's happened to you already, and you've already gone down that road, but I can hardly say this. I'm about to become a grandfather any moment.
At any moment, like
No. Yeah, any day now. Tomorrow.
A day now. Oh, that's all right.
Any moment. No, it was literally any moment I could get a call now to say I'm a grandfather, but there's one thing that worries me terribly.
Yes.
What happens if I get stretch marks? Once again, the staff are jealous of the success enjoyed by Joe Mahan's lesser-spotted Ulster. Of course, we have Gary Lineker and Lawrence Llewellyn-Bowen pretending to like us, but it's not the same. Last night, the bold Joe Mahan stood in an abandoned granite quarry. Did you see that?
No, I didn't. What
The
time was
bold
Joe on it? Joe's on very late, is he not?
He seems to be on nearly all the time.
Oh, they're putting Joe on very, very
No,
late.
but it's the only programme at UTV do, apart from Frank Mitchell, 10 best places to book. The bold Joe bragged how hard the granite was. Let's brag. How the granite here is very hard indeed. I can't do him. Go on do Joe talking about the granite, how hard it is. Please.
No, but no, Joe wouldn't say that, Joe.
No, I know, but I can't do him.
I can't do him either. I
Go
can't
on.
do him.
What
No,
was-
it's
if you had granite in front of you, it was very, very hard, and you were Joe.
no,
Mahan,
but
what would you say?
Studio Joe wouldn't talk about granite. Studio Joe would talk. You see, he talks about places.
But he would talk about
people.
if he was standing looking at the granite quarry, he'd have to describe the granite and say how hard it was. How would he do that?
But
in
how
the
would he
studio?
say the granite quarry? You see, what does he say?
You have to get some way of conveying how hard it
It's
is.
very difficult. That's why Studio Joe wouldn't do that. He would stand live in the quarry
And point at it.
and point at it and talk to it.
What would he say then?
I don't know. You see, that's the different Joe.
Look at how hard
That's
that granite
outside
is.
Joe.
The bold Joe bragged how hard the granite was. There are two Joes.
There's two
the
Joes.
outside Joe and there's inside Joe.
Inside Joe.
Well, I don't remember how
I love Inside Joe.
inside Joe talks like that.
Yes, Studio
Well,
Joe.
outside Joe just talks like that.
Yes.
Inside Studio Joe.
We should poach Studio Joe. He
Bring
should
him
come
in
back.
here.
No, he should come back to the BBC.
Oh, but what about the real one? Will he stay outside?
Bring the two Joes.
The two in together.
Bring the two Joes and put the
Very
series
expensive.
on BBC.
But you can't do that. UTV would have no programmes in at all. The bold Joe bragged how hard the granite was and enlisted an old codger with a chisel to prove this point. Here comes an old codger with a chisel to prove my point. Next, the bold Joe stood and watched as hard-working men repaired a peat road. Look at those hard-working men repairing a... I can't do that.
And now they repair the old bog road.
That's right. But not once did the bull Joe take his hands out of his pockets. All through the show, Joe attempted to whistle with two fingers in his mouth. I'm now going to attempt to whistle with two fingers in my actual mouth.
Lonely I wander through scenes of my childhood. They bring back to memory those happy days of yore. That's Studio Joe. Lone is the house now, and lonely the moorland. children are scattered, the old folk are gone.
They're away on day trips using their pension card. The holiday is upon us, with the accompanying riots and civil unrest, with many people desperate to leave the province that they love so dearly. However, the economic climate is not good, and many cannot afford to leave and don't want to march. The answer? A virtual holiday. Dear Puppet Chin, I listened with interest to Michelle's home holiday experiment. However, I see a glaring mistake in her choice of destination. If she'd chosen a virtual holiday in Ayanapa, she could party all night, snort illegal substances, get arrested, and wake up at lunchtime beside a swarthy stranger in the back garden. Then wolf down a full English all-day breakfast with baked beans. But being similarly cash-strapped myself this year, I have booked a virtual home holiday at a Swedish nudist colony. I haven't told my wife yet, but I'm sure she'll be delighted. Looking forward to it at some Conor Bradford. And when he goes to the nudist colony, what will he first see? What will he first notice about a nudist colony? Did you ever go to a nudist beach?
No.
You must have done.
No, I've walked past one in Portugal.
That's what I'm saying.
No, but I haven't been on it.
I know, but when you walk past, you're on it, right?
No, we're not.
You can't
no,
have
this is
but
the
you're
way
having a look,
This
aren't
is
you?
the way out the airport. There's only one man on it.
Was he standing up?
He was walking along the beach.
Well, that's how you knew it was nudist beach?
No, we didn't know it was a nudist beach.
Until you seen he had no Speedos on.
But, and Joe said to me,
That man has no trousers on.
Joe said to me, is your man naked? And I looked at him, I said, I don't know, I can't really see. And we stood, and I said, yeah, I think he is. So we didn't know it was a nudist beach. We thought this guy was just walking along the beach on his own with no clothes on.
There's one rule about nudist beaches. Now, I've been on a few of them. Now, there's one rule about it. No handsome man or beautiful girl is allowed on it. That seems to be the rule. So nobody's allowed on a nudist beach.
You were there.
I wasn't there as a nudist. I was there passing through, having a gleek, as the word goes.
What would take you to a nudist beach?
No, sometimes in the place like in Gran Canaria, okay?
You have to go to your way to get there.
Yeah, there's certain places in Gran Canaria when you walk. Did you ever go to a place and just walk along the beach for miles?
Yes.
Well, there comes a part where it's a designated nudist beach.
That's right. I have that experience.
That's happened to you. You just walk through,
and
you have to look because all the nudists are standing up, so you get a good look at them. I think they stand up when they see you coming, and they stand up and put their hand on their hip, like that, and they're kind of waggling their things at you. Not waggling, but the things are swaying in the breeze.
Right. Oh, right.
And you look at this and you go, I wonder what's the point of them standing up, and then you realise that they're standing up so that you can have a look at them. And then the second thing you realise is that they're all very ugly and bad shape and fat and horrible. And you're looking around and you say, hold on a minute, in all the photographs and brochures and naturist magazines I see, these are all slim young women and handsome young men. They must be all having their lunch. With Northern Ireland sportsmen queuing up to be the most famous and successful sportsmen of all time, the presenter wonders aloud at the dilemma due to be faced by those who choose the Sports Personality of the Year. Which man from here will they pick? There's nobody from anywhere else.
Darren Clark, without a doubt.
Why?
Darren Clark. Because...
Against all odds?
Against all odds. Darren Clark, his age, everything...
What about Rory McIlroy? His age, 22?
I would think about it. Rory McIlroy's got another 20 years ahead of him at top flight golf.
I know, but the point is that Darren Clark couldn't have done that until he was 42. And,
Darren Clark. He
Rory
won the heart
McIlroy
of the
did it
nation.
when he was 22.
But Darren has won the heart
but
and
all
the
I'm saying
affection
is
of
how
the nation.
difficult is that going to be? And another thing that's worrying me too, I hesitate to say this, I think Stephen Watson may not last.
Too excited.
He's too excited.
Too excited, isn't he?
He's too excited.
Yes.
It's too much for him.
And I think he's made a programme too many about Rory.
I think he's burnt out.
Aye.
He's just making the same programme every time.
That's right.
He just puts a different name on the guy.
That's right.
But you see, that's the most marvellous thing. That's a dilemma. What you have is 3 Northern Ireland golfers, right? And they win these marvellous things. And they're all travelling in the same private plane. And they're all going back to it looks like the same golf course. And they're all being greeted by the same people who supported them all their lives. And they've all got the same cup. And they've all got to doing exactly the same things. And so you make a programme, and then you do another programme the next week, and you just change the name of the guy. Then the next programme after that, you change the name again. I think he's got to the stage now he doesn't know who he is.
Who?
Stephen. The presenter now finds himself locked in a quiz question from which he cannot escape. Expecting no help from the staff, he tries to withdraw but fails.
What's it called? Life Gets Tedious.
For the 1000th time, life gets tedious, don't it? The man who wrote it and recorded it first. That's all I want to know. It doesn't seem a lot to ask, but it seems impossible that anyone could find that out for me. God knows what would happen if you ever worked for Radio 5 or something, where the presenters demand information immediately. I've seen those people sitting there, information flying at them. I'm sitting here like the Mary Celeste.
Well, does Frank Crumit sound familiar to you?
I don't know.
Well, I think you'll find out that he was the original.
Peter Lynn Hayes.
What?
In 1948.
48? Well, what about that?
He recorded first.
He recorded first?
Yeah.
How do you know?
Emma Googled.
Oh, God, thanks, Emma. Sorry I disturbed you. And what does it say?
What does it say?
Grudgingly tell me. Go on, please, grudgingly tell me.
It doesn't say a lot about it.
Well, could you tell me what it does say?
It doesn't say anything of importance.
Well, maybe I could choose to decide what is important or not. What does it say about it?
It says nothing, really.
Emma.
Yeah, but what does it say?
In 1948, hit recorded by...
Put the mic over to her.
Recorded by
Peter Lynn Hayes.
Peter Lynn Hayes.
Yeah.
career encompassed virtually all the media.
Yeah, whose long career encompassed all the media.
Well, I don't call that nothing. That's it's called a sentence, Sean. It's full of information.
What?
That's what that lady wants to know. That's the first recorded. It was recorded in 1948.
Yes, that's what we said. We said that initially.
I know. That's all right. I mean, we need the information. See how grudgingly that information came over there?
Yes, I did.
Did you see that? See how to wring it out of them?
Yes, I know.
Like pimple.
But it's widely credited to Walter Brennan.
But see, it's not.
No, I think Frank Crumit was the first one.
It could well have been. Walter Brennan was one of the last in a great long... Well, here's an idea. Why not Google him? I know it's an advanced concept. Why not Google him and find out who he is? I'm sorry to suggest that.
Well, you see...
Maybe perhaps that's an avenue we could go down.
Poor Emma is now taking phone calls. She can't Google it and phone
Well, you're doing nothing.
I'm sitting talking to you and Joy.
I don't want to talk. I want you to do something.
But you're doing nothing. You could be having this.
I'm presenting the programme.
But you could Google when you're talking to Joy.
I can't reach over that far.
Well, men can't do two things at once.
No, they can't.
No.
I mean, I'm going to have stretch marks. Anyway, listen, we'll find that out for you eventually, even if I have to do it myself.
Well, I'd better go because there's a cup of tea waiting for me here.
Lucky you, I don't even get that. They say that no entertainer has lived until he has died on stage. The presenter has died more times than your average zombie. We died a horrible death there one night.
Don't talk about it.
Oh, it was awful.
That's
the very thing I'm talking about. That's the very thing I'm talking about. That night you went on the stage and you wouldn't speak. And I had nothing to say. I mean, the two of us just stood there, and that's why we died.
So it's all my fault?
That's why I don't... Yeah,
it's all my fault?
Yes.
Right.
Anyway, sorry. You started around here.
Oh, mea culpa.
I met a wee man from Dungannon.
Yes.
His name's Paddy.
Yes.
He's a retired undertaker. A lot of people in Dungannon know him because he does a lot of Irish set dancing.
Yeah.
And he was in Cork on holidays. And I just spotted him in the car park. I seen the Northern Ireland number plate.
Uh-huh.
And I sort of give him the, how you doing, mate? You know, I'm from up north too.
What do people in the south call Northern Ireland people?
No, you don't want to say it on the air.
No, well, there's two or three things, but connected with the number plates, what do they call them? Yellowbacks.
Do they?
Yeah, because the yellow number plate in Northern Ireland is yellow at the back.
I thought they normally think we're far too smart for the whole belt.
They either call us Nordies or Yellowbacks or worse.
Worse.
Worse is the one I'm used to.
Anyway, wee Paddy from Dungannon.
Yes.
All I can remember, he told me his wife's deceased.
Uh-huh.
And he loves Irish set dancing.
Uh-huh.
And the reason I'm trying to get in touch with him is Maureen O'Hara's running another event in Cork. And she was in touch, her office was in touch with me during the week to let me know it was on. And I want to try and let Paddy know that it's on. Because I had left my details with Maureen O'Hara's people.
Yes.
What age is Maureen O'Hara?
Oh, she must be 90.
She's 91.
And she's still organising events?
She's looking good.
She's very feisty.
Is that right?
She's feisty.
She's very funny.
She's very funny, but I'll tell you a wee story about her. Do you know those IFTA Awards, Irish Film and Television Awards?
Yeah.
I was nominated there a couple of years ago for something wonderful that I did.
Did you win?
No, it was a fix. And I went down there, you see, and I'm sitting there, and the guest of honour was Maureen O'Hara.
Yeah.
And this was a very, very big thing down there, especially for a lot of people. There are people there from all over the world, not just Irish people. I mean, the people there would have been well used to seeing her, but I mean, the majority of the people there, they're kind of well-known media people, had never seen her before. And there was a great hush of excitement and anticipation and a buzz when they announced her. And she went up on the stage, she walked over, and she was 90, 89, whatever it was, 3-4 years ago. And she went over, and everybody was saying, "Oh my God, that's Maureen O'Hara. It's Maureen O'Hara. That really is Maureen O'Hara, the quiet man. Put the tay on," that kind of thing. And they kept saying, "Look, that's really her." And then she started, and she spoke, and she spoke, and she spoke, and she went on, and on, and on, and started giving out about things. And eventually people started saying, "Get her off, get her off." So I learned a valuable lesson there. Even when you come on the stage and you're regarded as being the greatest thing in the world, if you stay on too long and start giving out about things they don't want to see anymore. And that's why you don't work on stage, Sean.
It's all me. It's all my fault.
It is. Yeah.
The fact that we die everywhere we go is my fault.
You brought me down.
I try my best. You do nothing.
I know, but you bring me down. Thank you for listening. Back tomorrow.